Bada boom. Almost. There you go. Bada boom. We're live. Oh, we've got someone here already. And I just started the stream like 30 seconds ago. Hello, Crazy West family. You're fine. Sometimes it'll be, who else is it? Sometimes Joe, right? What is his name? John, Royal Cowboys, and Doug are also, they sometimes show up early. But, it is a lot of the time. It is like, well, not always. But, you're fine. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just exhausted. Right? Like, I'm gonna go to bed early today. Right? Or you know what I mean. But, I'm very much tired. You feel me? You work 10 hours a day. That's crazy. So, do you work 10 hours a day? I know you said you work in school. I'm assuming you work 10 hours a day for 5 days of the week, right? That makes sense. Yeah, I know there are nurses out there. I know that, like, if you're a nurse, you work. How many hours do you work if you're a nurse? There are nurses out there, they work. You're fine, my friend. There are nurses out there that work, like, 24-hour shifts. Like, they're just crazy, you know? A nursing shift is a very long time. But, yeah, that's for sure. What's up, y'all? How are we doing? How is everybody? I see there's 7 people here. How are we doing, everybody? How are we doing, folks? Hello, Edward. Edward. Yeah, Edward. How are you? How is it? How is it going, my friend? Today's been sort of like a vibe day for me. That's awesome. Today's been sort of like a vibe day for me. Like, we got up, we had a doctor's appointment, and we it was super chill or super like low laid back, and we I worked on updating my the vlog that I have on my Patreon. Right, I'm not gonna promote it, but I've vlogged, and yeah, we're just working on all of my long formats. Yeah, it's a super vibe day, super vibe. You know, I remember a long time ago. Um, I remember a long time ago. What am I gonna tell? I feel like I've already told all my stories to YouTube, the YouTube channel. But what am I gonna tell? Yeah, I remember for anyone who I'll give some context for anyone who knows, or doesn't know. I am a former not former addict, but I am a former, I became schizophrenic, got early diagnosed, like early onset schizophrenia when I was about 17, 18, and eventually went to rehab after a long stint of going through all this trouble and being homeless and everything. And I eventually went to rehab, and it's been years since then. I'm a recovered sort of like person, right? And that's part of the story. But I remember when I was initially struggling, I remember that what happened. I remember I flew to Missoula, which is where I would eventually become completely homeless on the side of the road, right? And I lived in a hotel there, and I remember I stayed in a hotel until, for how many days? Like 7 days or something like that. A cheap Motel 6 for like 7 days. And then I never quite processed it, right? What I was going there to do, just to be homeless, right? I never quite processed that. And so when I ran out of money for the hotel, I walked to a nearby park with just a backpack. I had gone there with a suitcase, with just my backpack filled with as much stuff as I could fill it with. And I just sat there at the park, and I remember not just sitting there and not quite processing everything and not knowing what to do. And that was sort of the beginning of my big homeless stint that I had before I eventually went to rehab and recovery. And it obviously it's been years since then, but that was sort of like the beginning of it, you know. But yeah, a little short story, I guess. But yeah, I could tell some more. I've got more stories, more stuff like that I could talk about. Right? Because that was obviously just the start, right? Like, I remember there was this point later when I would get because it was rainy and snowy in Missoula. This is northern Montana. Or this is like Sunday. This is Montana, right? And I'm there in the winter. And I recall, because I was outside all the time, I eventually got, because I had tennis shoes and boots. And that's it. But the boots weren't very good. And so eventually, I would end up developing trench foot. Sort of like basically trench foot. And my toes and stuff and everything got infected, and I had to visit a doctor. And I had to have basically surgery, right? To fix my feet. But that was in early winter, when it's around the wettest in Missoula, and in Montana. But right after fall that happened. The beginning of winter. It was not fun. I remember visiting the doctor because I had good health care at the time, right? My parents, although I had left them, they decided that they would still I still had health care, right? Because somehow they were like, I'd done everything I could to separate myself from them, except I hadn't canceled my health care, I don't think. So although I was very homeless, I at least still had health care and could visit a doctor, right? Despite being completely homeless, because the health care hadn't expired yet. And so I visited a doctor and was able to get surgery, thank God. But if I had known to cancel my health care, at that point I'm sure I would have canceled my health care. But I hadn't canceled it at that point. When I was that stupid, right? When I was there. But eventually I would start smoking, like cigarettes. And I was just 18 at the time, but I would start smoking, And at that point, and I wasn't smoking a lot, but just cigarettes. But eventually, I got strep throat, and it caused me to not be able to breathe, and I had to go to the ER. And they gave me steroids and antibiotics, and ever since then I quit smoking. So I've quit smoking since I was homeless, since not being homeless. I was currently home. I was homeless when I quit. So, and I've never smoked since then. But yeah. And then what else happened, bro? Like, so many, so extensive. I recall being so broke at the time on the modern streets of America that I had no money to eat, and so I what was I eating? I eventually got gum. I literally got gum. Like gum is the cheapest thing in the convenience store. You know that joke, give gum to the homeless so that they can chew but not eat? That's actually a reality. That's a reality because I remember being homeless and not being able to afford anything but gum. And so buying gum to chew on something because to sort of satiate the reality that I wasn't able to eat anything. And this happens in modern America, right? Like in the modern society that we live in, you could die on the side of the road in like LA or in like anywhere probably. You could die on the side of the road and nobody would notice until your corpse started to rot. In winter, I doubt anyone would even notice. Bro, you could sit there on the fucking pavement. You'd sit there like a fucking brick in the Missoula snow, and no one would notice if you were a homeless and you just died on the side of the road. No one would notice. You'd sit there for days, bro, I bet. And if you were in a sleeping bag, no one might ever notice at that point, except for weeks later. Like, I'm not even joking, bro. Like, it's crazy. And you don't realize that till you get there. Once you get there and you are homeless, you realize, shit, I could die and no one would fucking notice or care. I'd sit here for days and no one would notice and it wouldn't matter. People would walk by my rotting corpse on the side of the road, my frozen corpse on the side of the road. No one would notice, and you don't realize that until you are homeless, and then you realize that that's what would happen, and it's a scary reality, right? It's a horrifying reality, you know. Especially in places with lots of homeless, then you might never be fucking found, ever. Then people might never realize you died if you're homeless. You just die and fall into the endless void of dead homeless people, right? Because America takes care of their homeless and they're trying to solve the problem and all of this and all of that. They take care of their mentally ill people. It's fucking sad, bro, to a certain degree, right? But yeah. How long has it been? We've been streaming for 12 minutes. When are we gonna end this stream? Probably in another 10. We're gonna end the stream. But yeah. At least I've got a tongue grub. How's everybody out there? Though. How are we doing? Man, that lamp looks completely fucking ugly, bro. I can't believe we're attempting to keep it. This lamp right here looks so fucking ugly, bro. In this room. Compared to like this side. Over here. Looks so ugly, bro. But yeah. How are y'all doing? Well, I see there's only one person here, I think. How are we doing? How are we doing, y'all? Do I end stream? I feel like it's crazy. We already have no people here. I think I might just end the stream, bro. Even though it's only been 15 minutes. Damn. This is going to be the shortest stream I've ever done. Hey, Jar Choco. How are you doing, my friend? I was about to end stream. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what to do here. What happened? My friend, what's going on? Why is that? Are you good? Like, do you need to go to a hospital? Well, if you hurt your foot too bad, my friend, if I were you, I would go to. If you need to go to an urgent care or a hospital, don't be like, no, I can't go. I know there are people who are stubborn and don't go. But if you need to go to a hospital, my friend, no, there's no like make sure you go, right? If you do need to go, but that's if you need to go, right? It's not up to me whether you need to go, whether you think you need to go, my friend. And I can't see you at all, so I can't. There's not like, what do I do? You know? Hello, Royal Cowboys. Well, I wish you well, Drive Choco. I hope you end up good. Hello, Ralph. I think I remember you. I think you've been here before. I believe. But yeah. I hope you're good, Jar Choco. When am I gonna end the stream? I feel like I'm gonna end this stream soon, y'all. Actually, I'm gonna end this stream, y'all. Just because I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. It's been 20 minutes, or it's been about 20 minutes, like, or 30 seconds to 20 minutes. But, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and head out, everybody. I hope everyone has an awesome day, no matter where they are on the planet, or awesome night, morning, evening, I don't know, wherever you are on the planet, I hope you're doing good. But, yeah. Peace.